action. All right, listen up, lovebirds. It's Valentine's Day coming up, and if you want to treat your very special partner to something really lovely, but you don't have the money to kind of go out to a fancy restaurant, I'm going to show the beginner cooks how to make a starter, main, and dessert for you this Valentine's Day. It's going to knock the socks off your partner, and you might get lucky this Valentine's Day. Wink, wink. Anyway, we're doing a beautiful Italian bruschetta. We're then doing a spaghetti carbonara, and then we're doing a panna cotta. Onto the bruschetta, it starts off with a load of lovely tomatoes. Now, I've gone for some beef tomatoes, some kind of cherry tomatoes, winter tomatoes, and I kind of like a little bit of color in there because it's gonna make it look extra zingy. For the beef tomatoes, we wanna kind of quarter them and then remove the seeds because it's gonna get quite wet. What you could do is keep these and then kind of grate them on a cheese grater, and then you've got like a pan con tomate for the next day. If you get lucky, that is. We aren't getting lucky tonight because it's just me and Mikey. So the great thing about these recipes I'm about to show you, anyone can make them. They have great flavor, and also everyone loves them. Everyone loves Italian food. Everyone loves a spaghetti carbonara. Can't go wrong with a bruschetta. This is kind of something I might be serving up this Valentine's Day. However, it is my birthday on Valentine's Day, and I want to get your opinion on this. I think it's a rubbish birthday to have. Valentine's Day and my birthday kind of get merged into one, so I feel like I lose a day. And also, I'm a twin, so I've got to share it with my twin. Clark and I went out for one Valentine's Day, but we tend to celebrate Valentine's Day on the 13th, so I can kind of spend the day with Harry on our birthday. So we sit down at the table, and the waiter's like,
"Are we celebrating anything special tonight?"
And I said, well, it's actually our Valentine's Day, but it's my birthday tomorrow, and I'm a twin, so I kind of save it for him. And he goes,
"So you're saving Valentine's Day for your brother? I'll let you two have that conversation."
and I was like, don't make it weird, mate. You know, just get me a beer. Shut up and get me a beer. But anyway, do you know what's also a pet peeve of mine, speaking on birthdays? People celebrating in England their 21st birthday. I do not understand that. There's nothing you can do at 21 that you can't do at 18.
I think you need another music break.
Am I?
This is a grumpy Valentine's Day.
Do you think? Cut. I am a bit grumpy. I will be honest. I will be honest. All the chopped tomatoes go into a bowl, and we're going to season them generously with some salt and pepper, and then drizzle in some really, really good quality extra virgin olive oil. Rip in some basil, and when you rip it, you're going to kind of bruise the basil, and all those kind of natural oils and those aromas are going to really impact the flavor of the final dish. Oh wait. Just gonna rip in little tiny bits of mozzarella. People often say that mozzarella doesn't really taste as much. Putting them in a bed of olive oil and basil and salt and vinegar, it's just gonna take on all that lovely flavor. So we just kind of mix that through. Oh, look at that. Lovely. Sourdough on the board. 2 nice slices of bread, drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil, and then just rub them together so it's spread out really nice and evenly. Get that onto your hot griddle pan to get some nice char marks. Rub it with some garlic, and then we're ready to plate up. Simple as that. That's the first course done. So there we have it. That is my bruschetta. Really easy but fucking delicious. But enough chat, onto the main course. So the starters have gone down the hit. There's music in the air, the drinks are flowing, the lights are nice and dim. Then you're gonna look to your partner and just give them a little hey, little sexy little Don Johnson. Hey, come on, let's go make dinner. This part of the dinner needs to be cooked fresh. However, I've picked a dish which is sexy, which is easy and impressive, okay? It starts off with this. Now, it might look like spaghetti, but this is actually called bucatini. You can pick it up from M&S in the UK. We've got a pot of boiling water over here. We want to add a little bit of salt, add it into the middle, give it a twist. We just want to slowly kind of coax it in. So there we go, we've got most of it under. We've got some beautiful cubes of pancetta. We're gonna add it into a cold pan. We're gonna let the heat of the pan render out the fat and then crisp it up really nicely. Passes on, pancetta is rendering down. Now onto the sauce. The sauce is comprised of eggs and pecorino cheese. You can use Parmesan, it's not as traditional. We wanna crack in 2 eggs and 2 egg yolks. And we're just gonna grate in pecorino cheese, So this right here is still a little bit loose. See how it's still quite watery? Just gonna add a little bit more. See how it's starting to thicken up now? It's a little bit more gloopy. Wallpaper paste almost. Now we have a leftover piece of garlic from our bruschetta. We're just gonna add that in with the pancetta, and we're just gonna let that garlic kind of infuse into the fat.
You've not put any oil in there.
Good point, Mikey. So pancetta is quite fatty, and we don't want to add too much oil. So we've kind of got too much fat in there. You see that? So you definitely don't need any more fat. Then it's just going to become too rich and too greasy. You really want to make sure you get crispy pancetta for this. Just going to take the garlic out because it's done its job. Just going to pour away some of the fat, because like I said, you can always add things in, you can't take it out. How are we getting on with this? Also with pasta, I roughly do about 80 to 100 grams of dried pasta per portion. So we have our wallpaper paste. Now a really important part of carbonara is a lot of cracked black pepper. Pasta's cooked, heat's off, and the pasta's going in. Because we're gonna add raw eggs into the sauce, if we added in the eggs straight away, the eggs are gonna scramble. At too high heat, it's not gonna work. So it's all about temperature control. So if you were to do this for Valentine's Day, make your mistakes before the big night. So on the actual Valentine's Day itself, you're ready to rock and roll. We're gonna go in with about 2/3 of the eggs, okay? And mix it round. Gonna add in all the eggs. And the residual heat from the pasta is gonna cook the eggs and thicken our sauce. Now, if the sauce is a bit thick, we're just gonna add little ladles of pasta water just to loosen it up, and we've got it on a low heat so we can form our lovely sauce. Starting to get a really nice smooth sauce, a little bit more water. Oh yeah. Touch more black pepper. Here we go, ready to plate. So that's 2 for 2. That is my bucatini carbonara. Absolutely incredible, but we're on to the dessert next, and it couldn't be simpler. You've had your main course, you're feeling a little bit stuffed, but you do have room for that little sweet treat, but you don't want to have too much faff in the kitchen because you're pretty tired. Now you just want to relax. Well, the good news is for you is that this recipe can be completely prepped the day before, and it starts off with some frozen raspberries, and we just get them into a saucepan, a few tablespoons of sugar, and then just stew that down for about 5-10 minutes. Might need like a teaspoon of sugar. Taste as you go, and that means your food's gonna be perfect. Get it in the fridge and let it chill out. Now for the actual panna cotta, we have got double cream and milk, some caster sugar. This is the key ingredient. Now, vanilla is very expensive and it's quite hard to find. I got mine from M&S and it cost me about £3.50 for this bit alone. Now, you can use vanilla paste, which is a bit more readily available, which is the next best thing. And if you're lost for all options, you can use vanilla essence. But this one is the standout winner. So, what we need to do is kind of cut it in half and scrape out all the seeds, because the magic is in these seeds. So, scrape them out with the back of the knife, and that in there is pure vanilla. Because it's so expensive, we want to kind of get the pods in there as well. That goes onto the heat. We want to bring it up to about a simmer. Onto the gelatin. Now, this is leaf gelatin, and this is what's going to set our panna cotta. So, into a bowl, and we're going to submerge it in cold water. Now, it's really important that we use cold water. If it's hot water, you're going to melt the gelatin and it's going to dissolve and it's going to be completely useless. And the reason we soak it is to kind of rehydrate it. It's going to become a bit more loosey-goosey. Loosey-goosey. So our cream is at a light simmer now. We're just going to drain our gelatin, squeeze out all the liquid, and then drop it into the hot cream and whisk it in. That means the gelatin's going to be completely incorporated in the cream. And then we just need to pour them into our Dario molds. Now these need to go in the fridge overnight, and then we'll turn them out, serve them with a compote, bit of icing sugar, a sprig of mint, and that is going to round off your perfect Valentine's dinner. Valentine's Day is all about celebrating love and having fun. Why don't you show your partner how much you mean to them? No, how much they mean to you by learning a new skill and cooking up a delicious meal for a nice romantic evening. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. It'll be my birthday, so I'll probably be playing golf. We'll see you next week for another video. And I'm gonna eat this. But it's also expensive. Like, you know, you're talking a few £100, and money's tight for people these days. I think, personally, by cooking, you're showing them that you love them even more, because you might be pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. You know, get a few candles maybe, get a playlist. You know, you're gonna be on for a winner.